Hi, so in this video I'll give a quick introduction to what we mean by normal goods. So when we think of normal goods, what we're really saying is that if real income of consumers increases, then these consumers will demand more of these goods. So an increase in real income causes demand to shift to the right. And the reason we call these normal goods is because they are normal, and we would tend to think, and we may at first thought think, that every single good and service acts in this way, where if the income of an individual increases, they're going to demand more of every good. But this is not completely true, and in the next video I'll go over what we call inferior goods, which are goods where real income increasing causes consumers to actually demand less of goods. But in this video I will just focus on normal goods. So this is a simple demand diagram or demand curve, and we'll start at this initial demand curve, which we'll call D. And if our real incomes of consumers increases, so this could be for any reason, perhaps there's a change in monetary policy or government policy which increases the income of people. Perhaps let's consider the income of people who are on welfare benefits, and the government increases the welfare benefits in this economy, so their income is effectively increasing. If this happens, then for a normal good, and this demand curve here is for a normal good, so we can think of some examples and I'll go over them in a minute. So our demand curve is going to shift to the right if we have an increase in real incomes, and we'll shift to the right to this new demand curve D1. And in the previous video we discussed what a shift to the right meant, which means that at every price level, if we consider this price P1, the demand was initially only Q1, but now that we've had an increase in real incomes, our demand is now going to be higher at every price level. So this is what happens for a normal good. This should be fairly simple stuff, but it's useful to just understand the concept. This is an important concept to understand because most goods are normal goods. And so I'll get on to some examples of these goods. So as I say, these goods are called normal goods, and they're called normal goods because most goods, in fact, do act in this way. So we can think of a number of examples, and these are just goods where if we increase real incomes in our economy, the demand is going to increase for these goods. So we can think laptops, mobile phones, restaurant meals, cars, and cars may be an interesting one because we have lots of different types of cars. So if we increase our real incomes, demand for, say, Ferraris is likely to increase, whereas we might see some cars, say, let's say if we have a £200 second-hand car that's missing two wheels, and so, well, maybe not missing two wheels, but a very low-quality car, the demand for this sort of car might actually decrease when real incomes increase, because people get richer, so they don't want to consume this extremely cheap car that maybe isn't as good and is second-hand or third-hand or whatever, and instead they're going to consume the Ferrari, so the demand for this increases. So that's a little introduction to what we might think of it as inferior goods, goods that the demand decreases as our incomes increase. However, I will discuss those in the next video. So this was a very quick introduction to normal goods. If it was at all useful, please do leave a like rating. Make sure to subscribe for some econ in your subscription feed. Check out the playlist for more introductory economics, and drop a comment with any suggestions and comments you may have.